So hello, I'm just going to check I'm live before I start speaking to nobody. So welcome to the Quantum Human Revelations. Yep, we've got a live session going. So if you could say hello to me in the chat, that would just help me make sure that everything's working. But hello. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. My cat decided to have the full moon zoomies. So we had to kick him out, feed him, then kick him out. So he can't knock everything over while we're talking today. So welcome everyone. I've got a few people on Zoom with me and I've got some people on YouTube Live. So welcome to the Quantum Human Revelations. And this episode's theme is quite sacred. It relates to our divinity and our higher self. So can you just let me know you can hear me okay and that everything's sounding good? Tonight, we're going to focus on the main challenge regarding the fact that we are receiving and integrating a new part of ourselves this month. Now, I have been witnessing this since November, so it's been quite a new energy, and I've been reporting it in these Quantum Human Revelations for the last few months. It's an upgrade on a level that will profoundly change who you are and the way you walk on this earth. So it's quite a big thing. So think of this as the human version of the transformation from the caterpillar to the butterfly. That kind of metamorphosis. That's what we're talking about. It's beyond transformation even. And I get a feeling that what I've been experiencing is a very sacred process. And I don't want to give too much away in this open session because it's not the best container, because I don't know who's going to see it or what level their spirituality is at, or whether they're going to be able to handle the energies that we're talking about. So I'm going to today do things a little differently. I'm going to put a container around us that will intend that those that are ready for some of the insights will receive them, and those that are not will hear what they need to hear. So that's important that I set that today, because this energy is quite fiery, shall we say the least. So what I've been doing is testing out some new techniques to try and help us understand how to integrate this energy, because it is completely new. So I will mention the kind of things I've been doing, but I'm not going to take you into those today. That's what I do in my membership. And if you guys want to know more about this process, then you can join me there instead. But I will share there what I've been learning, what techniques seem to work, what doesn't, because it is a trial and error kind of period that we're in, learning how to integrate this new version of ourselves as a new soul light or a higher self. So welcome everyone. Sorry, let me just let somebody in. Cool, we're all safe there. So if you're a regular viewer, then you'll know that I've been working on a concept called the quantum human and getting more clarity on what that actually means. Well, this last month has been full of so many new revelations and insights, not only for me, but even for my membership. We've been noticing there's been light bulb moments all the time. And we're not going to have time to kind of cover all these in 1 month. You know, this is why I did them weekly originally, but I have other things that I have to focus on now. But basically, what I've been telling you is this quantum human concept is a blend of two aspects. There's kind of been a confusion over what those are. I keep trying out different words, trying out different ways to express it, because it's new and I'm trying to tune into what those energies actually mean. So I've always known there's two aspects, but getting the exact terminology right has been a bit of a challenge. But over the last month, I think I finally got it. So what I've been calling a good sense of logic and reasoning, which is kind of the left brain side, is now showing itself as the entrepreneurial high achiever mindset. Now, mindset's important there in that words. In retrospect, it's quite obvious, because when I think about my background, I was an entrepreneur, as in I was a CTO of my own tech startup. Now, what threw me is that I wouldn't have seen myself as an entrepreneur. And when I started that business, it was more of following my soul calling, I guess. So I didn't see myself as wanting to create a business. I was just following a calling that spoke to me. So I would never have claimed the entrepreneur type title as my definition or role, but then I don't use roles in general. However, when I looked into the entrepreneurial mindset, then I could see that I had those traits and those behaviors and those ways of thinking. So this entrepreneurial mindset is really key now to what I'm going to be doing in my work. Think of the mindset as more of the way your mind works, as opposed to your business ideas or the abilities that you have to set up a business or even wanting to create your own business. The mindset can be used as a parent. The mindset can be used in your existing corporate role. It can be used as an artist. It can be used as a yoga teacher. It fits all aspects, okay? So hopefully you get an idea. Let me know if that makes sense as the entrepreneurial mindset as opposed to an entrepreneur. The thing is, now that I know what that energy signature looks like, I can now start noticing it in other people. And it's been so exciting to see that so many people I know that would never call themselves entrepreneur, just like me, have entrepreneurial mindsets instead. So typically, a person who has their own business does not necessarily have an entrepreneurial mindset. But also, a person with an entrepreneurial mindset will not necessarily create their own business. Now, this is really interesting because they're the people that are sleeping in the shadows that I've been told to help. So that explains why whenever I've been trying to work with business owners, it didn't quite fit. And when I've tried to work with spiritual people, it didn't quite fit. So I'm quite excited by this. So the other part of the quantum human is the deep thinking, empathic, creative part that I keep talking about. And really, this is what we get when we connect to our higher self, to higher consciousness. So effectively, then, if I call this the higher self, though I know it's not that, it's much, much bigger than that, but it's a good word to kind of summarize that side, then you'll find that the quantum human is a blend of entrepreneurial mindset meeting higher self. So these are both mindsets and skills and abilities. And you can imagine when these combine together, the kind of person that you're going to have is going to be amazing and powerful and innovative and a trailblazer. Now, the thing that is keeping them in the shadows is actually a couple of common personality traits that we all struggle with, or maybe the entrepreneurial high achiever mindset people will struggle with. It's things like imposter syndrome, perfectionism, people pleasing. So those are the things that are kind of holding these people back from stepping out of the shadows into their full light. Now, I've been going through that journey myself, learning how to step out of the shadows myself. Even though I was CTO of my own business, the title felt like a heavy weight on my shoulder. The work that I was doing was entrepreneurial. I was creating, innovating, doing all the things, taking risks, doing all the things that that kind of mindset does. But I would never have claimed that energy as being who I was. Then when I came across my white star energy and connecting to her, what I discovered was that the feelings she brought were quite foreign to me. The connecting to your higher self, communicating with spirit, all that kind of stuff never completely sat with me comfortably. So I've had to find my own pathway through that. I found the spiritual books were perhaps a little bit too flowery and a bit too vague, and the psychological books were lacking and feeling a bit empty. So I was kind of always in the middle. So when White Star came to me, it was kind of like she pushed me. She said, get out there and do this. And I was like, no. But I got the message that if I didn't, it was going to make me sicker than actually help my life. It would actually make me physically ill. So that's when I started sharing in 2020 more about what I'd been experiencing. Now, back in November 2024, last year, what I noticed was White Star came into my body, and it was quite a strange experience because it was a very strong experience and it really felt powerful, and I felt really connected in a way that I've never felt connected before, even though I thought all the things I've done up till now was making me more confident, more able to share the message. This was a completely new feeling for me. Now, I don't think I've ever felt that energy before, even as CTO of the tech startup. So this was all quite new. And I kind of mentioned it in the episode back then, and we talked about it as a possible soul walk-in. And I was double checking because spiritually, these can be quite dangerous energies. You have to be really discerning about what you're connecting to. But the thing is, I don't see White Star as a separate entity. I don't see her as a guide. I don't see her as another being. She is me. I know her intimately as me, just somehow she's different. So when she came in, it was like, I wouldn't even say it was like switching out. It was a blending feeling. And the best I can say is when you guys go into the higher realms to connect with your higher self through whatever meditation you do, or that feeling you get when you're doing a meditation and feeling really nice and relaxed and anything's possible type energy. And then you come back into your human body and you feel, yeah, now I've got to get back on with the other life, my human aspects. Imagine if that separation didn't exist and that instead those two came together as a single experience. That's what it felt like when I experienced White Star. Now, she didn't stay around long. She actually said she couldn't quite operate in my physical body because of some constraints. But I think she was showing me what is now happening this month. This is the best description I can give you of this new energy that's coming in. But you might want to go back to November and play the Quantum Human Revelations from then to sort of see how this has progressed. So when I look back at the whole of everything I was guided to do with these podcasts, because again, this was a calling, I didn't know what I was going to be doing, but I could see that all of the steps that I've been sharing about, all of the mindset shifts, the reforging and the repositioning of information and what we think about ourselves, has all been really preparing us to be this new version of ourselves. For us to actually break out of, I think we did a session on the imposter syndrome and saying that the imposter syndrome is you sitting here now, not when you feel like you're doing something out of your normal status. That's just your real self trying to break through. The imposter is the person playing small now. We've spoken about how to find the conviction rather than motivation, how to obey the calling of the soul, spiritual bypassing. There's just been so many topics. And when I look at the range of topics now, I can see how that was preparing our entrepreneurial mindset to allow the higher self to integrate. So how does that sound to you guys? Because I'm kind of excited. So effectively, we are now at a point, I guess, where we're a single energetic or going to be a single energetic being where our higher self meets our entrepreneurial mindset. So like I said, I did question this and worried there was soul walk-ins or overlays. But I thought then, what is the word for this? And of course, like another kind of light bulb moment where I went, of course, this is the quantum human that I've been speaking about. So effectively, this month, this new energy, this new you that's coming in, and I don't think everybody's going to have it this month. I think some people are going to be prototyping the experience. But this energy that's coming in right now is the quantum human full activation effectively. And why is this important right now? Why is this happening now? Because it's a time in our evolution where technology and artificial intelligence is gaining momentum. And we need people that are going to be able to stand strong in this landscape of chaos, of the unknown, of not knowing what's real and what's not real, with deepfake videos, with people being able to write amazing bios for themselves because AI helped them. And we're going to be on the people in that arena that want to break out of it, that want to show there is another way where technology supports us rather than us being consumed by technology. And that's where the higher self, connected to its divine intelligence and the entrepreneurial mindset, like really mastering how we use our logical mind, is going to help us be driven individuals, innovating, trailblazing new solutions in the world. And this isn't about creating new businesses, but coming up with amazing new ideas, big and small, and without burnout. That's the important bit, because I think that's the other part of why people don't step into the entrepreneurial side, is because of lack of energetic protection and the fear of burning out. And I think this is the rare success that we've been preparing for since May in 2024. So if somebody asks me, like, why was I saying rare success? You can imagine embodying this higher self counts as a once in a millennia, type of evolution. Yeah. And this might become more normal in the future. We won't even think about it. But right now, this is quite a new feeling and sensation. So I think once we get the hang of this, then I'm sure we will be sort of like, the world will change quite radically if we can get momentum of quantum human awakenings and tapping into our abilities and power. And today, I kind of feel like that's enough. I should just stop there and say, that's all I've got for you. But yeah, some people are saying, yeah, in the comments, it's very important what I'm saying. But I do want to share with you the challenge that you're going to face this month to prepare you, because it's a big energy and it needs real discernment and reverence and honoring for us to go through this. So whilst I want to stop, I'm going to at least go through the usual energy reading with you and tell you what I'm sensing this month is all about. So for those that don't know me, I'm Trudy Marie, and I've got Trudy Marie White Star. I was always told I had to keep them all in my name, which I wasn't keen on. So even my name makes more sense now. Trudy Marie is my entrepreneurial name, and White Star is my higher self. So my specialty is channeling divine intelligence as a soul purpose guide and a visionary. So I think now, again, I can probably claim my talent is that I can do this in a way that suits the entrepreneurial way of thinking, because that's a different mind processing kind of ability. We need different techniques for different, like, we understand neurodivergence now, but we need different techniques to match the different neurodivergence. And an entrepreneurial mindset has a different way of thinking. So I share these quantum human revelations as a practical guide to help people step out of the shadows and confusion into your full soul light, or your full quantum human light and potential, and connect into this big why, your cosmic purpose, your kingdom's work, your service to the evolution of humanity, if you wish. And I do that by showing you how you designed your life. I then help you decode the clues that you left for yourself. And I assist you in discovering and healing and liberating your true quantum human abilities, your entrepreneurial mindset, your higher self-knowledge and abilities. And I help you reframe your life, your challenges, and your mess into the solutions you're here to deliver for other people. And that's the key here, is that your life has been designed for this one purpose, for you to help others to navigate that life path and achieve a process or a new solution or a new product or something that's going to help a particular group of people so that they can step into their quantum human aspect as well. And it's all about doing it without the burnout, because, if we look at it now, we're all living to work as opposed to working to live. So that's yeah. So like I said, I really did feel that this energy is quite sacred. And when you join me today, then do be aware that I'm putting you in this container to keep you isolated from being overloaded and burnt out by this energy. It's that powerful. So during this mini workshop, we'll be here for an hour. I'm just going to be asking you to allow your mind to recalibrate, to flip the script on what it means to be human, what your life has meant up till now, and to grab a journal, your oracle cards, or a book that calls to you, and to practice this concept of creating a vibrational medicine. I always like it when I've got new insights and then the TV kind of confirms it. And they said that quantum particles, once they've connected, they never lose the connection, even when distance is introduced. And even though I'm not going to be giving you the full details of this energy, I'm going to take you close enough so you can connect to those particles, so that you can at least start recognizing them and sensing them for yourself. And vibrational medicine is a great way then to start anchoring these energies in. So remember that even though this isn't classed technically as a healing, there is energetic work being done in each of these sessions, a weaving of divine intelligence and words, the frequencies that I'm thinking of and bringing in. These are all happening. So please be discerning about what you receive and what you wish to put on the shelf to come to when you're feeling more strong and more, when your body's ready to receive. This is all about your body, really. So please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share it with somebody that you think might want to hear this information too. So I really want to build a community of people, because last month, or the beginning of the year, when we talked about the 2025 reading, we emphasized that the clues aren't only in our life frame or our life path, the clues are also in the people we meet and what they share with us. So we have to become more vulnerable to receive all of this input into our energy and our knowledge and little clues like the TV or what somebody says to you. And to do that, we need to stop trying to do this on our own and start becoming parts of communities. Whether you go in for a season or go in for a longer time is really up to you. But if you want to become a revolutionary critical thinker, change maker, then hang out with those people. Find other people like that. Let me just check in with all your comments. Hey, we got people saying hello on YouTube, so I can see all of those. Thank you. But yeah, please hit the like button. And everybody might be slow answering on YouTube because it is slower for me to get the answers there, so that's cool. So the other thing we noticed since I mentioned the synchronicities in the 2025 reading, then lots of people have been coming to me now starting to notice them and starting to notice that it's shifting them in quantum leap kind of ways. So it's not just small breakthroughs anymore. It can be quite big. And I think that's partly to do with some of the new energies we've been playing with in the membership. So please do share any comments you have or takeaways in the comments because we don't know who's going to be reading them. And that will help others have the same synchronous kind of quantum leaps in their lives too. So the first technique I want us to tune into is this instinct of God frequency. It's one that we've been using a lot and it's really quite powerful. So take a few deep breaths now, just to bring yourself present. Notice where you're breathing, if it's in your belly or your chest. And I just want you to imagine that in every single cell of your body, there is an encoding in the DNA that is the instinct of God that knows that at this point in your life, you are going to go through a metamorphosis. And it is there to help your body do the necessary changes required to be ready to receive the new soul light that is coming in, this higher self energy. So just see if you can focus and sense that energy in your body now. And one of the ways that I find activates this is by tapping on the collarbone and humming. So as you breathe in through your nose, you go, and I don't know why vibration, it always reminds me of the flapping of butterfly wings. But I find that if you do that, you can then raise this in energy up. And we usually body test, so we can go forward for yes and back for no, just to help us tune into whether we've raised it. And we want to get it up to about 92%. And when we do that, then an instinct means that something is done involuntary. It's an automatic response, just like breathing, just like your heart beating. And this instinct of God energy can help your body prepare for the new energy that's coming in. So just take a few minutes to do that now. Just keep breathing and tapping and sensing into this energy. And this frequency was something that came through this time last year, by the way. And it's been quite pivotal to the work I've been doing in the membership all year. Nice deep breaths, keep tapping. So I can kind of show you the frequency because that's what I'm thinking of the frequency. So I'm sharing that with you now in case you didn't realize. And we have got other techniques that we've been using to teach others how to connect to this energy on their own without me having to hold the space for them. So if you want to share in the comments how that feels, that would be good for others to read. Cool. I like that feeling. So in 2025, when I did the energy focus for the whole year, it said, are you ready to become a quantum human and trigger the evolution of our species? And I thought, whoa, that's a big request. So I knew it was big, but I didn't really appreciate the full implication of what that would look like. Did anybody kind of imagine what that was going to look like? And I think that to really get what this looks like now, we have to, like I said, understand the entrepreneurial mindset and the higher self and the power that those two can create. So I do recommend that you go back over any of the previous episodes to help you catch up if this is your first time, or go back and replay them because, you know, energy comes in layers. So each time you rewatch it, you'll have another energetic clearing, another layer added or cleared or opened up and recalibrated, ready for you to receive this new version of you. And if you really want to dive deeper and more quickly, then come and join us in our membership. So I do it through an interview process because I don't want you guys burning out. So I need to make sure that you're ready for the work that we're doing. Now, last month, we started exploring what it would mean to have a life that was simple and easy. And we said a simple and easy path to higher consciousness living. But now I have to kind of even think of that differently, because higher consciousness living, I was thinking of from a human perspective. But now I'm having to think of what would that feel like from a quantum human perspective when that higher self is integrated. Then, of course, when the higher self gets integrated, we're going to have a higher consciousness of living on the physical realm too. And we said that we needed this ability to be that no matter what you faced in life. Chaos is here to stay. We're going through a transformative time in the outer world as well as the inner world. So we just got to get used to walking boldly through this landscape. And we also talked about last time about devotion, and that devotion to ourselves, the renewal and rejuvenation energies that were coming in, returning to 0 point, to be free from the past and the future constraints, so we could start writing a new story of joy and delight. So you can kind of see how that kind of was supporting what we're doing tonight. We also were working on control dramas in relationships, and people have been practicing what we've been teaching in the membership and noticing again big breakthroughs because of this instinct of God. Once you've put your attention on something and then you put the instinct of God to work on it, it's causing real quick healings and transformation for people. So that's where we've been. So this month, we have been doing more preparations of the physical body so that our higher self can jump in. And that was the card as the outlook this month is jump in. And I've been creating protocols to help the body purify of emotional baggage. I've had to teach how to use the frequency of the instinct of God to make sure that people understand how to use that to the best advantage. I even took the group to meet their higher self in a very, very safe, I was a bit nervous doing this, in a very safe environment so that they could experience what it felt like and recognize it, again, the energetic signature, and also to get some advice from their higher self of how we're going to do this process. So again, I'm going to iterate the warning that this energy is extremely powerful and potent, and it can overload your physical body. It can cause energetic attacks if it's not done with discernment. So please be really careful what you're doing in your spiritual practices and protocols right now, and make sure you've got a technique, which I usually teach body testing, where your body goes forward for a yes and back for a no, to really discern if what you're doing is actually helping this process or if it's going to make things worse. So please, this isn't like, it's so easy to go, oh, yeah, a new part of me, I'm going to just step in and play with that energy. No, this is a very sacred and profound, energetic piece of work. So at the moment, that's why I said I want to be really careful about what I'm sharing tonight, because I want you to focus more on the purification of your body and preparation rather than the connection to what this energy is. And I think, in a way, my body over the last 4 years particularly has been a prototype for this process. I feel like I've been really ill since 2020. I started getting ill. Same time I was called to share this stuff. And yet I've had ME since 2004 from my entrepreneurial experience. And yet every time I was trying to heal from the burnout and the stress of the entrepreneurial experience, it kept telling me that I had to do this spiritual work as the solution. So I started doing the spiritual work and I still wasn't getting better. I was still not feeling well. So I have been getting to the point where I'm thinking, am I doing this right? But now I can kind of see that if my body was the prototype for bringing in the higher self, I have had to go through quite a big transformation physically over the last 4 years. Like I said, I've been really ill. I've had heart issues. I've had breathing issues. And it's really like keeping me at home in this cocoon. And I feel like I've been dissolving who I am. Now, since Christmas, I've noticed I've been coming out the other side a bit more, which kind of coincides with the White Star visit. But effectively, I've had dark nights of the soul before, which is when we dissolve our personality. But now I've got to say that what I've been through the last 3 or 4 years has been a dissolving of my physical body and of my identity on a different kind of level. So if that's what I experienced, and I was kind of already playing with some of these energies unconsciously before I consciously stepped into it, then people that are new to this are obviously going to feel it a lot more. So please do take care when we're tapping into this energy this month. We've got the eclipse that's just happened and the equinox and another eclipse. So it's quite a potent time. So how are we all doing? I think we've got everybody on. Cool. Just checking if there's been any comments. So I asked earlier how it felt to tap into the instinct of God. And we've had energy lifted and giggly. I think I've had like peaceful, powerful, and light have come through as other words people have used before, just to give you an idea of what this instinct of God can feel like when you've mastered it. So with all that said, we can now move on to the energy of this month and the reading that I've got for you today. So the theme is, are you ready to allow a different version of you to enter and jump into you for the next phase of your life, which is the next phase of your evolution? And how willing are you to receive this and what it will bring? Because it is going to bring quite a lot of change with it. So if you're not good with change, you're not going to struggle with what's coming in. So I have an intention for us to set, which I hope will help you connect with the energies this month in a gentle way. So this will work no matter if you're watching it live or on replay. So this is going to be a repeat after me moment. So I am a divine vessel, perfectly constructed to hold and express my higher vibrational soul light. I activate the instinct of God within me, tapping into an innate intelligence, or natural intelligence, if you want to use that word, that guides my decisions and actions. I discern and select only what is essential to my well-being, aligning my personality, my body, and my spirit in service of my divine purpose. My daily practices nurture and prepare me for a new divine union between me and my higher self. With each step, I contribute to the ascension of myself and the planet. I am a beacon of unity, co-creating heaven on earth. So just let that run through your body now, and maybe tap on your collarbone, bring that instinct of God, and just ask that all the cells of your being align to this new affirmation. And anything that no longer serves you, just imagine there's big, huge magnets, these plasma balls all around you, and that the energy is just being sucked out to that, which will transform that energy and cleanse it. So we got, how ready are you for this process is going to be the key question. And we normally use body testing for this, and we get a number from 1 to 100, and we monitor that number as a way to keep on top of our energy and what we need to do to help us be safe through this process. So if you want to do this work deeper, then I do have a subscription-based membership training where we do 12 superstructures throughout the year, one per month. There's a 3-hour workshop. And if you're interested in any of that, then just email me at whitestarsoulguidance@gmail.com. So as we're tapping into this energy now, I'm going to ask a couple of quantum human questions to get us started, just to see where we're sitting at the moment. So the numbers are how your energy is now after we've just done that intention. So it might be a little bit different by the time we finish the session. but please do use that number as a way to monitor if there's something you need to do and to purify yourself to prepare. Okay? Okay, where are we at? So the energies that I talk about this month will be a theme, what preparation we've been doing that we're going to be using, an outlook. Then I will talk about the strength and the challenge, which are really two sides of the same coin. So it's kind of like once you overcome the challenge, it becomes your strength, which is really a theme for today's reading. And then we'll talk about the advice and finally what next steps you need to think about this month. So they're quite practical information. Now, if you can tune in using your body testing, it's more important than your mind because your mind doesn't understand what we're doing today. So the first question we have for you to do as a number from 1 to 10, and if you've never done this before, just get the first number that comes into your head and put the number and so like number question 1 and the percentage you get in the chat so I can see what you guys are getting. So Jenny's jumped ahead. She's already done the first one. She's got 92%. So question 1, I am ready to receive my new higher self, 1 to 100. So number 1, I am ready to receive my new higher self, 1 to 100. Number 2. Oh, we got some hundreds going on here. Yay. Number 2. 90. Yeah, but you guys are all working with me, so that's great that you've got 190. Number 2. I am willingly receiving my full talents that I was given to bring into this lifetime. I am willingly receiving my full talents that I was given to bring into this lifetime. Now, this might have a less positive result if you're fearful of what this means. So 1 to 100. $92, yeah. So these numbers are a bit lower. So what this means, and this is kind of the talents part of what we're going to be talking about in a moment, but at least you'll understand where you're at now. And then by the end of it, hopefully this number will go up. I am willingly receiving my full talents that I was given to bring into this lifetime. We got some good numbers on this too. Some people are getting quite high. 82, 91, 60. Nice. And then finally, oh, sorry, no, question 3. We got 2 more. It's question 3. I am willing to examine my challenges. Now, we're not always happy to look back at our past life challenges because we think that was all failure or something, but it's important that we do. I'm willing to examine my challenges to find the gold at the end of my rainbow. 1 to 100. I am willing to examine my challenges to find the gold at the end of my rainbow. So I'm looking at my phone. That's why I read the YouTube comments in case you wonder what I'm doing. I haven't quite got the text sorted. So that's question 3. Wow, we get some really good numbers with the guys from our membership. Like I said, I knew we've been having some amazing breakthroughs. So this is really cool. Well done, guys. I love your numbers. So question 4, are you willing to use these God-given talents in service to the world? And that could be scary, making you go out and actually show these talents and use them in innovative ways. So are you willing, question 4, are we willing to use your God-given talents in service to humanity? So I'm using willingness because that's the first stage. We have to go to be willing, then we have to be able, and then we have to integrate, so it's like when we eat food, the process we digest information and energies is the same process when you go through food consumption. Nice. So we got 84 and 88. So everybody's getting really cool. We're ready. Quantum Humans Awakening. So those were your Quantum Human questions for today. So at the end, I don't often have time to repeat those questions, but you can come back and just test them at the end and see what you get. So let's see what quantum ingredients we've got this month, because these sessions were supposed to be 30 minutes, then now an hour, and sometimes even an hour and a half because the energy's been so big. So what quantum ingredients do we have to work with? So as I said, we're getting upgrades regarding this new energetic landscape as we're preparing for this metamorphosis. We've got the instinct of God, which I also call the God spark, in our DNA awakening. We've been using the crystal peridot because it's good for purifying emotional baggage, grief, abandonment, and to help us connect to our divine purpose. I have been using plum as a frequency of plum rays to strengthen our devotion. So the devotion is what we need to honor our soul light, so it feels more welcome in our body, and to help with our commitment to our inner calling, because it can be a little scary. And we have to open the heart. So plum is good for that. And we also last month had spinel. It was multicolors. We had 3 different colors of spinel crystal, and that helps you surrender and helps renew your life force Kundalini energy. So again, back into that life force energies has to be upgraded to hold this new soul light. We also use another frequency, which we can only really tap into this time of year, which is when Virgo full moon has just happened. And that's called Laniakea, and it's a supercluster. And Laniakea is the Hawaiian word for immense heaven. So sensing into that frequency can be really awe-inspiring. And it's a very divine frequency of the divine to help you remember that you are divine, that every cell of your body, you are the God, and you can reprogram yourself because you're the God version of yourself walking on this planet. Astrological, we have had the lunar eclipse. That opens up this eclipse corridor. That was last Friday, I think, wasn't it? This corridor closes on the 29th of March with a solar eclipse. So lunar eclipses are about shadows, bringing the shadows that we need cleansing. Solar is about personality shifts. And then we have the equinox in the middle on about the 20th, I think. I haven't checked all the dates this year. It sort of depends on whether it's midnight or after. And, this month has also been predicted as the shift from the Kali Yuga into the Golden Age. So we've already seen that with other people talking about that from the Chinese calendar, from the Hindu calendar, that one's coming through. So there's quite a lot of good omens telling us that there's a lot of light energy on the planet for us to tap into. So on the Virgo full moon, which is a quantum human workshop I do for divine and higher self exploration. And as quantum humans, we're here to model a new way of being. So I try to teach what those new ways of being would look like. So this is just one of the superstructures from 12. And what we were looking at is how does this new soul light, the higher self, fit in with that entrepreneurial, high achiever mindset, but also we were looking at being the CEO of your life. And Virgo teaches us about being detailed, focused, and exploring the importance of discernment, essentialism, I like that word, but I don't know if I can say it, and how your daily practices are there to assist you to embody this divine aspect of self. So Virgo just tells us that this is a time where we really need to pay attention to the details and to be very discerning. As I said before, really check what you're doing, spiritual practices, food, TV, videos, energies you're hanging out with, all of that. And even any concept of past lives that no longer serve you now need to be removed. And especially divine past lives where you might have been crucified, maybe, if you had a past life like that. And now we need to be able to overcome that fear so that we can become more divine this lifetime as well. So effectively, Virgo is teaching us how to express the divine aspects of ourselves in service of humanity, and then connecting to the divine plan and the cosmic purpose of what we're here to do. So again, you can see how that energy fits in with what we're talking about today. So regarding our physical bodies, it's going to be, for some, it's going to be on an increase if they've not done any of this work before. For others, you might find it's starting to settle down. I'm finding my symptoms are easing over the last few months. And it's important that you just let your body lead you through this process, which is why the body testing is so important. You may find that more dramas are happening in your life, just so that you can highlight and pinpoint where you need to detox and purify. And again, we've been speaking about that for the last few months. Focus on the details. Don't ignore the details, and really listen to your body, tune into your body, scan your body every day. You might find that your brain is struggling to focus because it's being upgraded as well. It's changing. And just generally noticing any toxic thoughts, beliefs born out of your ego, personality, fears. All of this stuff now might be coming up to be cleared this month, or at least starting that process if you haven't started it already. And you can imagine all of this is going to make you feel quite tired. It's going to make you want to rest and go into hibernation. And I think that might be a little bit more than usual for us. And for some of us, we've been going through these kind of like deep sleeps and then high energy kind of experiences, like a roller coaster. The heart is still expanding and opening, so we still got palpitations. Our heart is kind of being broken open. I think our whole body's being kind of broken open, and that's kind of the next steps when we speak about that later. And what we really want to do is dissolve any resistance to this process of integrating our higher self. And as we probably have never considered what we're resisting, then that's where the detailed work is going to be needed to study what's going on in your life. So if you're not careful, this energy can burn you up. So do make space to keep yourself in a cleansed kind of energetic space as best as you can. So a lot of what I've said there, I said quite quickly because I've spoken about them in previous episodes. So you'll have to go back and read them or listen to them in more detail there. But let's get into what this energy this month is bringing. So the first theme is the Prince of Rainbows. And what this was telling us is that there is gold at the end of the rainbow. And that all the seeds that you've been planting and nurturing are being warmed by the sun. And this is the energy that's coming in is quite powerful with the solar flares. But it's burning us, but it's also nurturing our seeds. So the soul is often referred to as the sun as well. So you could argue that the sun that's burning us is also the soul light burning us. And we have to be able to be willing to go beyond our horizons to allow the sun to regenerate us, which is, again, the higher self. So I asked if you were willing to receive the talents and abilities this will bring, because if you can't receive them, then you're not going to be able to receive the higher self. If you're not going to be willing to use these God-given talents in service, if you're going to ignore them because it's too hard to work out exactly what they mean, or if you decide to use AI and copy other people talking about this subject and focus on sharing that instead, that kind of distraction, any of this is going to block the higher self from coming in. It's about really stepping into your truth, not your truth of somebody else's truth, or your version of somebody else's comments, or your version of somebody else's downloads. It's about stepping into your truth and using all of your elements of your inner light and putting your talents out there around the earth, not being the messenger of other people's messages. Because if you're not doing this, then effectively you're breaking the divine plan. If you're not using your energies creatively, the soul doesn't want to come and join you. It's like rejecting the soul. And you're only then operating as half of who you are. So can you think now, are there any talents that perhaps you've been playing down that you can claim for yourself now? And how can you value them more? So what talent do you think you've been playing down that you might think, just something that comes to mind based on what we've been talking about? And a talent, it doesn't mean like cooking or programming or painting. This could be just the ability to bring joy to somebody's life, or a way of thinking that will reforge somebody's experience into a more positive experience. It could be all sorts of aspects. So don't limit your mind to just what you think a talent is. Because what I'm finding when it comes to manifesting money and manifesting in general, because all the manifestation rules are all changing as well, is that there is an intrinsic compensation that comes with this. This is what the card is kind of teaching us. There's an intrinsic compensation that comes when you're using your divine talents correctly. Now that's might not make sense yet, but using your talents come first. When it's the correct talents you're using, then the manifestation of the money is much easier. So we've kind of been doing it the wrong way around. We've been looking at where can we go get the money instead of working out how I can develop my inner soul light, my higher self and my talents, and then what money will that attract? And this is even like for those that think they've already tuned into what their talents are, and they are calculating like, well, 1 hour of my time doing an energy healing is worth so many pounds, or 1 hour of me doing a consultation or a coaching session is so many pounds. That's the wrong model for us now. Instead, we need to learn to be fully present in our unique frequency and give fully of it to allow it to express itself as it needs to. And that's one of the issues I've had with my work. If I try and contain it, it doesn't work. When I say to them, to clients, like, it's this process, and I can't break it down into this, and this. It's just going to be this process, and this is the value. Then it's much easier than trying to work on what services, what skills I've got, what rate of an hourly rate should be cleaning versus programming. You know, why do we have that separation? We're all valuable humans. So why do we think that the type of work we do is less valuable and should earn less money? You know, this is the kind of, I think this is the shift we're going into the moneyless future, which we mentioned a bit in the 2025 reading. There's this rebalancing of money to talent, and instead it's humanness, authenticity to money instead. So this way, then, the more you step into your authenticity, into your higher self, into your sharing of your talents, when you've got the right talent, because again, many of us are in the wrong life paths, in the wrong work. When we do that, that's when we can then value ourselves as a human for what we do. And that's when we will get compensated intrinsically with the money that we need to support us. So tap into your talent, your authenticity, shine, and then that will define the income that you make off of it. So that's the compensation, law of compensation that this theme is about this month. So it kind of goes back to what we were talking about tithing, which I only mentioned briefly, I think, in the 2025 reading. But obviously, as we're going through a stage where AI is taking off, where artificial intelligence is becoming more prevalent, there are going to be job losses. And it happened in the industrial period when we started bringing robotics into businesses. My degree, one of the modules was like how to speak to people who are about to lose their jobs because of technology. And that was back in the 90s. So we're going through the second round of this now, where creatives are being impacted by the same process. And as we go through, you know, AI can do a lot of the jobs that were information-based. If we were information-based and good at collating information, then we're not going to have those roles anymore. AI can do it quicker, cheaper, and more accurately. So if we're all going to be out of work at some point while the new world decides what employment we have, that's great. We have more free time. But how do we then supplement our income? And I think this is why there's slightly more entrepreneurs coming up now than ever before, that we're all looking for our own independence, our financial freedom, so that we can tap into our talents and share them more accurately for a good return on time and money. So tithing kind of takes that one step further. So rather than just sharing your knowledge and being a creator or an influencer, what this is saying that each of us has important information for somebody else in our life. Somebody we meet on the bus, somebody we talk to in the street. And tithing is the concept that when you go to church, you put money into a collection bowl for the spiritual guidance that you receive. Well, instead of doing it in church, imagine we do this with every person we meet. Remember, each person is valuable for who they are and the frequency they're holding, not the job title they're doing. And imagine that we meet somebody who shares with you something amazing, like I'm doing with you now. And in a way, Instagram and things are already kind of getting ready for this, because you can pay people coffees for doing this kind of content. Then you pay something, and then you share information with someone, not the same information. You share your insights with somebody, and that they pay you. And then it's not a business anymore. It's not about marketing. It's not about setting up sales pages or the funnels and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's just a natural human behavior that we share as our intuition, our higher self guides us. We share, and then we get recompensed for it. And that tithing kind of model really fits what this theme is trying to tell us today. So we're not quite there yet. We still have our jobs, but if the future is going to be moneyless, and if we are going to find a lot of unemployment, then there has to be another way that we exchange our abilities, our creativity, our life force energy for the kind of support that we need to pay for our food and our homes. And whatever the future is going to look like, that could all change eventually. But there is going to be this kind of shift in how we see our work and money making and survival. That area has been coming up a few times in previous episodes, even to understand there is no cost to living. We can create a circular system where we don't overconsume from the planet, we don't overconsume from each other, that there's a much more no hoarding, no need for bank accounts or large amounts of money or investments, that this all flattens out into this circular system where you take what you need, you manifest what you need, you don't need to over manifest because tomorrow you can manifest what you need again. So that's the kind of feeling of this energy, I guess, if we're tuning into that tithing. And that's what this prince of the rainbow is representing, is the gold at the end of the rainbow represents when you're tapped into your unique frequency, you're really tapping into the gold of who you are. So this is a good point to pull a card while you're kind of processing what I've said there. So if you haven't got any cards, oracle cards, you can find a book that might be relevant and then just find a page or a card that might help you understand what is the key thing you can do to dissolve any resistance to receiving your talents. So what is the key thing you can do to dissolve any resistance to receiving your talents? Because this is all about receiving. Now, if you can't receive your talents, you're not going to be able to receive money. So if you've been struggling to get a job or to get a pay rise, then maybe it's because you're in the wrong job, using the wrong talents. We're going to have to start examining things from another perspective now. Maybe it's because you're trying to constrain your amazingness into a small package and you're not making it big enough. And as I say to some people, maybe you're in the small lane, the slow lane, trying to make money there when really you ought to already be in the fast lane because you're ready to go. It's just you're holding yourself back. So pick a card to find out what you could do to help you dissolve any resistance to receiving your talents. And I'm talking about the new talents coming in with the higher self. So be aware this is quite esoteric. It might not be instantly relatable to your 3D mind, and you're going to have to meditate on it to allow more insights. Tap into that instinct of God to see if you can really connect to it. So I've got expressing my true feelings and helping other parents with parenting. Marta says she likes the system, the money system. Yeah. Well, the thing is, the more we talk about it, the more we focus on it, the more we can create it energetically. And then the more people join us on that energetic creation, then hopefully we'll start seeing that in the world. But I do kind of like the idea of this tithing where we don't have a job as such, where I was listening to a video today and they said, when you want time off to go to a wedding or to a family event and you're not allowed to have time off. And I think that's like crushing the human spirit, that kind of system that we have now. It might have worked. I'm not sure. I was going to say it might have worked up till now, but I'm not sure it has actually worked up till now. That's why I've got burnout. Cool. So like I said, the outlook this month is jump in. That was how I said, jump in. And we're just being reminded that our soul is on earth for its own delight last month. So this month, we're just preparing now to make a more delightful environment for our soul to jump in. So that'll be kind of, I expect, a bit like my White Star experience. And you'll need to be adaptable and go with the flow for this to happen. So it's jumping in. The higher self will jump in, and then you'll have to jump into your soul's great vision, your kingdom's work, your cosmic work. So it says, don't wait to feel ready when you do your soul's work. You have to learn as you go and find the courage and conviction to do what you're being called to do. And again, in my membership, I encourage everybody to start taking baby steps towards what we think their soul's vision is. And it's an evolution. It's not going to be known straight away. Although I've noticed this month again, we're getting much more insights as to what people are meant to be doing. And it's like nothing compared with what we would normally expect that they're meant to do. So it's really is about our true authentic essence and what that can do, rather than about what we're doing or being on this planet right now. So I've got dance with life, do something to change your energy. I've got authentic voice, tapping into your authentic voice. That sounds about right. I think they're the main ones coming in at the moment. I'm sure that'll catch up. So hopefully you understand. So what the theme is telling us is that in order for us to integrate the higher self, we need to be able to allow those talents that come with the higher self to be expressed through our physical body. So no longer hiding and having those sort of secret skills in the higher realms. We have to be able to find ways to express it out onto the planet. And that's going to be a trick in itself from what we've found in the membership. Protection. Interesting. Oh, yeah. I think, Marta, your protection card might be to do with that rose stuff that we spoke about. So what preparation have we been doing to prepare us for this month? It's learning to heal yourself before healing others. And I've repeatedly said, don't encourage anybody to become a healer unless it's their real soul calling. Just because you've had a healing modality that worked and you enjoyed it and thought it was fun, that's not a reason to be doing that kind of work. And it's not going to be tapping into your divine talents either. And the reason we need to get really good at mastering our own healing is because we need to be able to take our challenges and turn them into the fuel for your life. Sometimes when we start doing a healing modality, we stop working on ourselves. We don't explore some of the vastness of who we are. And then we accidentally get distracted from what we're really here to do. Now, sometimes we do modalities because we want to pick up some skills to add to other skills. Then that's, you're on the path when you're doing that, as opposed to just learning and learning and learning for the sake of learning. So we need to understand that through healing yourself and delving into your own healing, you will learn a lot about yourself and the sacred message that you're here to deliver for the humanity, for all of us. So it's about no longer looking at healing from a selfish perspective. So not healing because you want a better relationship or you want more money or you want a promotion at work. We're now healing to come up with new solutions to help assist the evolution of humanity. And healing here, we're talking about no longer doing any shadow work avoidance, not doing any spiritual bypassing, or becoming a healer of others too soon, because all of this will block you from discovering your real talents of what you're here to do. Does that make sense? Do you really connect with what I'm saying there? Every healing I do for people, I refuse to just make it go away by magic. I make you experience it, understand it, so you can find the gold in it. Once we've dug into it and we understand it, then we take away the emotional burden that goes with it. So we keep the lesson without the pain. And then we reforge it into a gift, which is the gold of the lesson. You designed your life. You left yourself clues. Those clues are the challenges of your life. So when you understand the challenges, you're uncovering new talents and knowledge. And in fact, that is where you will find your talents, not in what you were taught in school or what you think you're good at. Your challenges, your mess is where you will find your talents. Now, if you've been the sort that has always been fearing or fighting or avoiding your challenges, then you've been missing out on all of this gold, the gold at the end of the rainbow that was meant to be yours for you to use to make money from. So by delving into the healings, you will find the magic you need. How does that make you feel? And the thing is, I get it. When you first come to spiritual type work, higher self type work, there aren't many career paths for you to choose from. It'll either be a healer or be a coach or I don't know if there is another path beyond that, but healer, coach, they're the only two things. Everybody assumes that's what they should be. But I think what I'm seeing with this entrepreneurial blended with the higher self combination is you can do this work in more ways than you can imagine. We can do this work by being an artist, is the first obvious combination of higher self and entrepreneurial skills, or as an author. But you can also do this work in corporates by bringing a different energy and a different suggestion of how team building can work in the office. You can do this by becoming a parent that talks to their children in a different way. You can do this by being the person that shares their wisdom through channeling, through YouTube, through creation, through talking to people in community centers, by being the person that takes food and sharing stories and connection as you do. There's many ways that this can happen, but the key is that it's all hidden in your challenges, and what you've overcome is what you're here to help other people overcome. So now that I've said that, what do you think your talents are now? Think of it that you are a consultant of your own challenges. You're here to serve the universe by working out how to have the best process to fix all the challenges you ever had so that you can then offer it to other people. And that helps you identify your cosmic niche then. It makes it much easier to find, because there are people like you 5-10 years ago. Now, it is a fine line. And as I say, many of us end up on the wrong side of it, often trying to find the balance, like I've been through that for the last few years. But the thing is, those that are here with the biggest thing to share are often the ones, unfortunately, as you can imagine, with the biggest challenges. They've had the hardest time. So getting up off the floor to even consider this might be even hard work right now. So keep tapping into that instinct of God to bring your energy up. So that's the theme and the preparation and the outlook done. So now we're going to talk about the challenge and the strength. Now, each time I've tried to go into this, my head spins a bit. So I'm going to try and keep myself. When I connect to White Star, I'm here doing it. I don't have to go into trance or channel a different voice or anything. I'm already connected. It's all the interface is already kind of like got smaller and smaller as I've worked with her. So she's here with us now, and I've just got to make sure that I don't end up being spaced out by this. Because the challenge, like I said, is this burning energy. It's the initiation that we have to go through in order to bring in our higher self. And the initiation is by fire, by sun, like I said, sun of the soul, but also the solar flares. And for this, like each time you use your cards, the context of the book or the deck of cards that you're using is important as the card you're reading. And it's interesting that the symbology for this initiation comes from Ra, the sun god, and Isis. So Isis is connected to Sirius, which is our spiritual sun. You've got Ra as our 3D personality sun. We've had the downloads connecting to our divine aspects from the sun. So there's a lot of sun burning energy. And even this time last year, I did speak about how this energy was so powerful that if you tried to use it last year, it would be a bit like putting a rocket on your bicycle. It was going to smash you into the nearest wall. So this is the kind of strengthening your foundations that were needed before we started bringing that energy in. But it was also important to realize this energy was going to send you in whatever direction that you were thinking. If you were thinking, my life is miserable and a victim, you'd get more. If you thought, I'm going to be successful, you'd get more. It didn't care. It's a very neutral energy. And it's important to remember that initiation energy is neutral. It's just an energy. How you interpret it is how it then works. So it's interesting as well with this Ra and Isis story. It's quite a complex story in that there's also a snake involved in the story, and snakes typically are renewal, regeneration, Kundalini energy also. So it's kind of pulling all those things together. So what it's basically saying, my loose interpretation, like I said, I'm not going to go into the details because it's too intense, is that we're birthing this new light and that we need that mother energy. So just like the mother is birthing a child, the child is the new soul light that we're birthing, and that we're going through initiation energy, and that we need to be able to focus this energy very carefully to make sure it's burning away the resistance, bringing in divine attributes, but not burning our bodies and bringing the energy in too quickly and burning up our physical bodies. So it's an iterative, slow process, and it's going to crack you open. So you have to be ready for change and to be uncomfortable and even maybe lose yourself a lot during this process so that you can bring in this new soul light. So it's a very vulnerable process. And you have to be in a real radical state of openness to receive it, because that resistance is going to cause the pain. Now, it's interesting in the story of the Ra and Isis, the snake was classed as a poison. The snake bit Ra, poisoned Ra, but the snake also was the healing medicine that he needed. And the truths that are coming up for us now might feel like poison, that as we're looking at what's toxic in our lives, what works, what thoughts we have, how we've been blocking ourselves, because again, you designed your life, so the blocks are of your own making, then that kind of truth may feel like poison, but it is also the medicine. Yeah, so it's the poison and it's the medicine. So we need to allow the cracking process to happen and tapping into the mother energy of divine love and compassion to support you. Now, some of us go through initiation at specific times in our life. Others, like me, have been through it most of their lives. It's a spiritual apprenticeship from start to end for me. I'm a life path 9. But some others might find only one area of their life has been infected. Maybe relationships or work have been like a struggling area all of your lifetime. So that'll give you a clue where to look and to start looking at this initiation process in a more conscious way, so that you can start now turning your most difficult challenges into gold. And that technique is the preparation we've been learning through what I've been sharing on these and through the episodes I've done so far, but also through my membership. So we're really looking to how we can alchemize our challenges into gold. Okay? So that's the challenge, is this initiation process. And then the strength is the central sun. So again, Ra was the sun, so it's a similar energy again. And the sun this time is saying, well, rather than it being this burning, purifying sun, it is also the divine light. It is also your divine attributes. It's you learning to receive the challenges and the pains in your life with the same amount of grace as you do the blessings. And to help me understand this, what I was shown is the kintsugi bow, the Japanese art of golden joinery or repair, where they fill broken bowls with gold. So I'm not going to go too much deeper into that, but the process of something breaking and then being repaired by gold kind of shows you how this integration of your higher self is going to go. So hopefully that'll just prepare you to allow yourself to be broken, to be vulnerable, and to find ways to purify all the toxicity out and any resistance, so that you can surrender to the process a bit more, I guess. I was going to do a meditation, but I was told not to, because not everyone watching this might have the discernment to be able to keep themselves safe. So that one I'm saving for the membership, I'm afraid. So how are you all feeling regarding that energy? We've got 2 more bits to go and then we're almost done. So again, I think this might be a good place to pull a card and to ask how you can, or what thing you can do to help you with the challenge this month of this initiation process. What one thing do you need to focus on to help you move through the initiation process more smoothly? So you can pull a card for that. Now, remembering it might be a physical, spiritual, energetic, mental, what else is there? Process. So it could be any of those things that you need to do, but you can use your how willing you are to receive this new version of yourself percentage, and pulling a card and processing each card, like working through each card as a practice this month, as a detailed practice, like Virgo, detailed practice of ritual. Pull a card, look at it, meditate on it, find out what it means to you, take some action, actually do something, and then if the percentage goes up, you know you've done it right. If the percentage stays the same, do more, or pull another card and start again. So you can create your own healing. Remember, become a master of your own healing. You can do this process for yourself to keep the momentum on your healing effectively. But just focus on the how can you prepare Yeah, don't go straight for what are you going to do to bring it in. So what can you do to help you with the initiation process? What cards are you guys getting? An itchy nose when the energy start going. I think that's my friend. She always said she got itchy noses when energy worked. I'm just giving us a moment to get a card and just to tune in to the energies that I just spoke about. So we said initiation energy, burning, the sun, intense fire, initiation fire, and that it's the same energy that will burn away the resistance as will bring in your divine attributes. So if you reject the burning and the cleansing and purifying, then you're basically rejecting your divine attributes as well. So somebody's just pulled a card. This is the question was, what can we do to help us with this initiation process? And the card that somebody's got here was, change is often uncomfortable, but it is usually for the highest good. So for you, you need to work on how can you be more comfortable with this initiation process. So maybe you can pull another card to see if there's a practice that you can do to feel comfort. And then again, all the cards are showing up really relevant. You know, for somebody that's got a computing background, it's amazing how the working with cards and things is so powerful. But we've got the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? So this is the resistance I'm talking about, you know. So these are highlighting the resistance each of you has. We've got unbound. I think, again, that goes back to that rose card that we had. We need to unbind from that because you're still bound into an old narrative. That's a past life narrative that's holding you back. So using the cards will help you identify the things that are resisting and keep focusing on that this month. If you focus on that and purifying, then the raising your God spark, then at least you're starting to allow the body to recalibrate, and it will bring in the energy when it's ready. Cool. So the advice is stop playing small. You are a star, which I thought was funny given my white star. There's nothing stopping you other than yourself. Expand your field of attraction to infinite potential. You are a bright star already. And this is always important. You are already the quantum human. It's inside you. The imposter is all the layers you've put around you, like a Russian doll, that's holding you back from realizing your full potential. And then for the next steps, we've got ask for support. The universe is here wanting to help you. So are you ignoring, if you've been ignoring your talents, are you also ignoring the fact the source is trying to give you clues to help you move through this? So maybe if you listen to one of my podcast episodes, do you actually do what I suggest, or do you then forget about it? Do you try to discover more about who you are, your thoughts, your feelings, your healing, or do you ignore it? So it's quite easy for us to ignore some of these things because they don't make sense. But remember, the message was that we have to get started even if we don't know what we're doing. And we all have a telephone line to source, to our higher self. And sometimes we just don't ask. Remember, we have to ask for help, and we don't ask for that help. Now, you might think I've asked for help before, but it's never really come through. Then I would argue that you've probably been asking for the wrong type of help because you're not focusing on your talents and sharing your talents with the world. If you can focus on that as your main intention, then you're starting to get into a different frequency. That's the authentic frequency. And then when you ask for help, you might find that the messages that you're getting now will make more sense. So this next steps is just to remind you that you're surrounded by spiritual support, psychological support, helping you recalibrate your mindset, emotional support, and physical support. And that the universe really does want you to be nurtured, to have all your material needs met, shelter, security, safety. And you think, well, why? Why does the universe want all of this for me? It even wants peace and prosperity for you. And the reason why the universe wants this for you kind of fits in with what we were talking about last time. You are a consultant working for the company called the universe. If the universe wants to be successful, then of course it's going to want you to have what you need. Because when you then have everything you need, you'll be successfully using your talents in service to the world. How many of us have got a day job and we don't quite want to switch over to the thing we really want to do because that gives us stability? And we're frightened that if we give up the day job stability, that we then have to carve out a pathway in an unknown landscape, and we don't know what that looks like. Yeah. The thing is, that's holding you back then from exploring what your real talents are and what you're really here to do. And if you then tune in to actually using your talents in this way, basically what he's saying is that your talents are in service to the world, which then helps the universe, which then helps the world and every living being within it. And I've said this repeatedly, often in my healings, my healing would be to fix the earth. And I could never understand. And I was getting a bit annoyed thinking, why am I always fixing the earth for other people? Until I realized I wasn't fixing it for other people, I was fixing it for myself. Because when I healed my pain off the planet, that energy came back to me and it helped everybody else. This is why I talk about non-selfish healing. It's a real, you give to receive. You give your talents, you receive the compensation, the gold at the end of the rainbow. It's that process. So knowing that, then the universe is doing the same with you. It wants to help you because you're a channel for the divine plan. You are the thing birthing a rare success. It's a team effort. So if you think that asking for help is a form of cheating, it's not. The help is still there to get you started, but without your courage, without your strength, without your commitment, without your devotion, without your joy, without you developing your talent, without your energy, without your creativity, your resourcefulness, your intelligence, and even your humor, you're not going to be able to fulfill your soul's great vision alone by just the help of the universe. You need all those things as well. And I like that it said humor because last month we had the gnome of buttons and mushrooms and the laughing Buddha, and it kept saying tap into your humor because you're going to need it to help you get across the finish line. And it comes up again, you know, saying that humor is an important frequency that we need to value and use more in our lives. So imagine now that we can really tap into understanding that the universe is all around us all the time. And the reason it hasn't felt like it was been helping us before is because we were focusing it in the wrong way, that we were trying to call for help out of fear, scarcity, out of small-mindedness, out of limited-mindedness, and instead see how that can be transformed into stepping into your vision, stepping into your talents, feeling a calling from your heart to step out of your comfort zone and do something you've never done before, even without understanding the full impact of it, which is how I started these podcasts, and to see where it takes you. And that way, then, it should lead to the compensation you seek as well. So this is stepping into that energy we spoke about in Leo of accepting that your life is working out exactly as it should. And it's just your interpretation that makes it wrong. If we can remove the interpretation and instead look at it from a place of innocence, breaking it apart, pulling the pieces together in a different way, then we might find that we can see the pattern that we missed before. And when you have that status of everything's working exactly as it should, it gives you more confidence to embrace life, to engage in life, to engage in the challenges, because you're no longer reliant on the things outside of you to define your current state. And again, when you do this, guess what? We feed it back. You're showing other people how to do this too. So that's the energy reading. So you can see it's about initiation, purification, preparation for this higher self, tapping into receiving our divine talents, clearing any issues we have about receiving in general, so that we can be the pure vessel, the mother's body, effectively. The physical is the mother's body, to birth the new soul light that wants to come in right now. So your mantra, based on the intention we used earlier, your mantra this month is to align with activating the instinct of God and using it for your highest vibrational needs so that you can bring in your soul light. So the mantra is, I discern and select only what is essential to my well-being of my body, my soul, and my purpose. And it becomes my daily practice to enable more of my divine self to be embodied and expressed through sharing of your divine talents. So any questions so far? Because we're going to be wrapping up soon. So I love the fact that YouTube takes a while for questions to come up. So that's why I'm giving you, start typing them now. And then when I'm ready, they'll appear. So if you really want to embrace all of your quantum human abilities, this has been my life path. This has been my talent that I've been learning how to share with the world, learning how to use it, learning how to express it. So this has been my life's work, helping quantum humans awaken to their own soul purpose and their own magic that they're here to build. So I don't teach people how to do what I do. I teach you how to find your unique path and your amazing frequency so that you can do your own magic, so that we build this network of individuals coming together, all with our specialties. But when we come together, there's the power of the whole from all the parts. And the way that I offer this is through a membership. This is a subscription-based membership, but it's a training effectively. There's 12 modules, one each month, a 3-hour workshop on a weekend. And it's all aimed at helping you support the metamorphosis of you into the quantum human. And it's a balance of the entrepreneurial skill set and the higher self skill set. So it's intensive work. It's really for people that have that analytical mind, because there's a lot of questions and workbooks and lots of times asking like what 1 to 100, digging into your healing, understanding your challenges, how to turn them into your gold, understanding the difference in personality and soul, energetic recalibrations, body updates, you know. So it's all that kind of work that we do once a month. And that's the usual, like the essential level. And once you finish that, I have a more advanced level for some people when they're ready. And it's about doing all of that with grace and without the burnout. But if you want a quicker route, then I do a 1-to-1, which is a 6-month container. And then we do some real radical liberation work to get you unstuck from past lives, from your thoughts, from your personality, from your parental conditioning, from karmic bindings, whatever's holding you back, we clear it all out so that you then can emerge as the empowered quantum human and stepping more into your galactic light as well. You know, this cosmic light, not just the human soul combination. We're really stepping up into becoming an agent of the universe. So you can email me at whitestarsoulguidance@gmail.com if you're interested in any of that. We can set up a free assessment to reimagine your future and chat about your needs and see if what I do helps. So I think I posted the dates for the next session. I can't remember it off the top of my head because Easter comes in between. I think I had to adjust it around Easter. I might have to come back to you with that, but please do hit the like button if you've enjoyed what I've shared, and get yourself on the notification list. So when I do post stuff, you get to see them. I must admit, I haven't been posting a lot recently. I've just had this real feeling that this stuff is so sacred. I just needed to process it in my body first to understand it before sharing it. And, you know, the container of my membership is my main focus at the moment. But I'm sure as the energies settle and it feels, when my practices and processes and techniques are all more defined, then I might be able to share more with you all then. So remember, any comments that you've shared is going to help somebody else have some synchronous moments. So thank you for sharing comments and sharing your insights today. And please share this video with other people that might want to start their quantum human awakening process. So I'm just going to leave you. Let's see if there's any questions. No questions? I know that it's hard for you to ask questions when I've kind of bombarded you with this much information. Sorry. So at the end of these sessions, I have a group of people on Zoom where we do a more intimate Q&A process. If ever you're interested in joining us for one of those, then again, just email me, whitestarsoulguidance@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye to you all. So thank you for joining me today and bringing our energy, because I'm sure we've all just shifted one step closer to integrating our higher self now. And remember, this is a time to delve into your own healing, to perfect your own healing so that you can learn how to turn that healing into magical solutions for other people. So don't try and focus on helping other people this month. Make sure to rest and to let your body guide you through these energetic shifts this month and this burning initiation fire. Get to know it well and get to learn how to use it, and focus on purification mainly, and how to dissect your life and start pulling apart the pieces so that you can put it back together in a form that is going to be more in alignment with this new higher self that's coming in. Because the world needs your light, it needs your passion, and it needs your unique talents. So go forth, quantum humans, and create heaven on earth. That's what your soul really longs for. That's all our souls long for. And the universe is going to help support you to do that. Because when you're successfully using your talents in service for the world, remember, it helps the universe, which helps the world and helps all other living things. So thank you, guys. I hope that was useful for you. And I'll see you all next month.